It's Tuesday here at Digital Charcuterie. My name is James Rosile. Joining me is Andrew Fantasia. If you are new to the channel, if you love superhero movies, we do this every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk superheroes on Super Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, like I said. And once again, joining me is Andrew Fantasia from not only the Rebel Scum podcast channel, but also the Andrew Fantasia YouTube channel, where he today did his show in the nude.
That's right. And if anybody knows me, you know that I love Eastern Standard Time. So I'm thrilled to be on a show that drops accordingly.
Yeah, every time you see PST, you don't even watch it. You move on.
It gets my blood boiling.
Mountain Time, you don't even you will just walk away. But today we got a cool show because Batgirl is happening once again, maybe. Avengers, we're talking in the humor. Is it hilarious? And Thanos already maybe has something that he needs before meeting our Avenger heroes in Wakanda. By the way, that trailer that just dropped on, was it Saturday? For Avengers, the TV spot, the woman in TV spot, which looked like Black Panther 2, was actually pretty freaking awesome. It was pretty awesome. So let's get right into it. With Batgirl. Andrew, you know the name of the writer of Batgirl. Give us her name and tell us your initial thoughts of this writer.
Her name is Christine Hodson. I don't know anything that she's done so far, except she's also worked on the screenplay for this Bumblebee spin-off movie that's supposed to come out later this year. I've said on my channel, I've gone on record and possibly made a fool of myself. We can't tell yet, but I've gone on record saying that I think that this is going to be the best critically received Transformers movie ever, simply because it doesn't have Michael Bay's greasy mitts all over it, and we have a woman writing it, which probably means it will have some sort of respect for women, unlike the other ones. So I'm happy for that. I'm excited for that movie. Now this Batgirl thing is interesting because I'm a Joss Whedon fan, but I get it. Get this girl on board, get her to write something, get her out there. If she's talented, give her as many movies as possible. The Batgirl movie, though, I've just been confused by it. I'm just confused by DC in general. Like, is everything under the EU umbrella, or is this just a spin-off? Like, what is the deal with this movie, James? I don't quite get it.
I think what's happening is, well, we haven't heard anything about Nightwing. Remember, Nightwing was supposed to happen as well from the Lego Batman director. That was supposed to be happening. Was it Chris McKay? I think it was Chris McKay. They have all these properties. I think they're smart to do Batgirl. Look, first of all, I think I'm not somebody that thought Justice League, they made a mistake of not having all those characters do standalones first, because I don't think it's necessary. Like, who cares? The Flash is fast. Cyborg's a cyborg. Wonder Woman obviously already had one, and Batman. I didn't think we needed it all for everybody. Like, we get it. They've been around for over 50. Like, we get it. But for I think though they're smart, and you know how I feel about a lot of the shared universe stuff is I find it gets tiring after a while, and I think the DCEU is in a place where people just don't care about the characters so much. Well, they should, and they do, but not in the screen version of them. They're just not invested. I think Batman v Superman really put a lot of people off, a lot of moviegoers off, when you can go see a Marvel movie and just look at Black Panther. It crossed $1.3 billion. 1.3 billion. It's like it's in Star Wars territory now because you can just go in and have fun. It's not really deep. It's not really a deep film. It's not trying to be. It's like, hey, well, this is a Marvel film. Just go have fun. There's going to be a James Bondish type sequence. There's, this guy in a suit. The characters are badass, and there's a villain who you've seen a million times. Like, and then you go in, you're like, oh, cool. I will say Michael B. Jordan is a fantastic actor, and I thought he brought a lot more depth than some of the other villains. But ultimately, he was the exact same villain I've seen pretty much every time. He was like Jeff Bridges in Iron Man 1, and he was like Ant-Man villain in Ant-Man, and he was, it's okay. He wants to be the hero. I get it. But it was, but the thing is, and I was saying this, I think I said this on Dead of Nerds. I'm like, but you go to see these movies, the Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, what be it, because like when you pick up the newest album or you download it from your favorite band, it's the familiarity of it. People aren't liking the familiarity of the DCEU. I am. So what I'm saying is I think it's smart that they go ahead with these standalone films, give it to somebody different to do. And look, focusing Batgirl, what is their best movie to date? Arguably, critically, Wonder Woman. It's the highest grossing DCEU film, I believe, of all time. Like, of all the DCEU films, it's the highest. Wonder Woman did it. Wonder Woman is a female superhero. This is the mind of male execs. They're like, oh, well, the female superhero is really doing well. Let's get more of them. And then they're like, oh, we have Batgirl. And they're like, yes, get Batgirl in here. Now, Bumblebee, I agree. It probably will be the best critically received movie, but I've said that the last 3 Transformers movies. I have no idea, though, how it will be. She's only... Christine Hodson only has, like, 2. She has, like, 3 other credits on IMDb. Shut In with, I think, Rosario Dawson and Katherine Heigl, I want to say, are in that movie. I've never even heard of it. But if you Google her name, she is known for that movie. So, look, either she has a really awesome agent, or she's a really good writer that nobody's really tapped into yet. Much like, I just did the story on somebody writing something the other day. And it's like, okay, like, I don't know who you are or what you've written, but if, like, maybe you are talented. Maybe the Bumblebee movie, maybe she's like a really, really good collaborative writer, and that's why they're doing it. But I think Batgirl is a very smart move for DC at this point.
I hope she has the purple costume from the 60s show. I love that costume so much.
I want Batman to go back to gray and blue. That's what I've been hoping.
Ooh, that's right? Ballsy. I like it.
Seriously. I think, yeah, I would love that too. I don't know what the story's going to be. I mean, I guess, she won't connect with Batman right off the bat. I don't know. It's a weird spot, but I'm not. Look, I just want to know, because I remember when Joss Whedon was fired or quit or whatever. All these female writers wanted to take a stab at Batgirl. Like, they all came out and they're like, I want it. I want to know if she was one of them. But either way, even if she wasn't vocal on social media, which you don't have to be, maybe she obviously wanted it and she's behind the scenes and she got it. And I think that's great. Hopefully she can tap into the character. I'm really curious to see who the director is, because one of the things that's always wary to me, and look, they did this with The Force Awakens as well, although Episode 7 is what it was called, and they got Michael Arndt to write the screenplay, and then they hired J.J. Abrams. It's like, what kind of a dumbass move is that? Like, first of all, because here's the thing. If I wrote a script and I sold it to them, they would be like, oh, let's hire a director. But if it is a known franchise, like, J.J. Abrams isn't going to come in and be like, yeah, give me what you got. He's going to be like, I want to do my thing. Blah. So if they get someone like that for Batgirl, does this script even matter?
Oh, I hope that doesn't happen, especially if she, puts some good work out there.
Well, you don't, but sorry.
Now, I don't
cut you off. I got to cut you off. What if that was the case with Michael Arndt's script for Star Wars? Or what if that was like the greatest Star Wars script ever? Do you know what I mean? And you still like The Force Awakens, and it made $2 billion. Everyone liked The Force Awakens. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not always a bad thing. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, we'll never know, right? Like, when things get changed, we never know what happens. I'm just curious about, okay, they've chosen specifically a character in the Bat universe. Yeah. And in the DCEU so far, if anybody has been sort of the through line, sort of the Nick Fury just kind of keeping everything tightened together, it's been Batman. I mean, he's shown up in 3 movies now, and he was like sort of present in the Wonder Woman movie. He had that letter he wrote her, so he's kind of always around. So the idea of having another character in the Bat universe, it gives me some hope, because I'm like, okay, this gives us the opportunity to see more of that version of Gotham. I feel like it would be a huge wasted opportunity if they don't include J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon in this, after all the brouhaha they put of him being in Justice League for 25 seconds. So I think this is a good opportunity to expand this universe that needs expanding desperately. So if this is going to be part of that, then I'm like, yeah, cool. But if this is going to be like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's like this one of these 17 Joker movies we're thinking of making right now, where it's totally different, I don't know why they'd go that route.
Yeah, see, for me, I'm like, I like shared universes I'm getting tired with, but I completely agree with the JK. Like, these characters can still kind of, like, if Batgirl is in Gotham City, then the characters from Gotham City should be there. But she doesn't have to go to Central City or Metropolis. Like, she just, like, keep where it is that's what I mean. Like, that's how I thought Batman kind of made sense in Suicide Squad for the most part, and whatnot, but I don't want to talk about Suicide Squad. But, like, that's how it is. But here's the other question is, this Matt Reeves Batman, I've heard a lot of people are saying that the whole DCEU kind of hinders on this Batman film, and he's working on it, and it's going great. And it will not be about the death of Jason Todd, reportedly, but also that it might take place before the DCEU. So it would be a younger Batman, obviously, which I think makes complete sense. Because the one fault that I had with Batman v Superman, and I actually like Batman v Superman, but my one problem that I think a lot of people have with it is Batman is this old grumpy guy, and we never saw him get to that point. Like, there's nothing that took us. Like, he just all of a sudden was like, I hate everything. You're like, well, why? Because of my past. Look at the Easter eggs behind me. And, you know, and, like, the fanboys, and we're all like, look at that, and look at that, and Jason Todd's dead. But, like, my mom's like, who the hell's Jason Todd? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. She's like, I watched Adam West and Dick Grayson, whatever his name is. Burt Ward. She's like, that's what I like. That she doesn't know. First of all, her first response to Batman v Superman is, why are they fighting? That was actually, when she saw the trailer, she said, why are they fighting? They're superheroes. So I think, look, I think it's smart to go back. But if they go back, does that mean, is Barbara Gordon in the current state of the DCU in a wheelchair? And are we going to see her get to that point? Because I think that could be very intriguing for that character as well. Start her off early enough, and then you can grow and have her develop over time as well.
Yeah, they're, like, that character, you're right. I totally forgot about the whole Oracle wheelchair thing. That's a whole other facet they could explore, too. It's just, I really want to know where they're going with this universe. With Marvel, at least, like, it's always felt to me like we've been working towards Infinity War. Like, first we were working towards Avengers, and that was, you know, made clear. And then as soon as we saw that Thanos thing in the credits, ever since then, it's been, okay, now we're working towards that. And I never get that from any of the DC movies. Like, we knew we were getting Justice League, not because the stories in the movies set it up, but just because, you know, the people in the studio would come out and be like, hey guys, we're making Justice League, stay tuned. Nothing in the story ever felt like it was building towards a thing. And now that, you know, we've had Steppenwolf, and we know that the dark side stuff is coming, hopefully. I wish they made a bigger deal of that. I wish the movies built towards it more. But Gotham City is like my favorite fictional place ever, so I'll be down to see anything set in that world. I hope that they don't squander what they've built so far, because it is great. I've loved a lot of the movies they've made.
Yeah, but nobody saw Justice League.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. I think, again, they didn't do anything to help themselves out with anything. They just like, we need a team. What? Because Superman's dead and something is coming, based on a couple nightmares and the beginning of Batman or Justice League, which I just watched Justice League the other day. That opening really doesn't, like, anyway, whatever. I like it, but it's like, wow, what? You know, if you like don't really know what's going on, you're like, what? Why is there a scout coming for, like, oh, because Superman's dead. Oh, they killed Superman too early. Anyway, and they brought him back way too cheesy. That's my biggest fault with the Justice League movie, actually, is just how Superman comes back in, like, the most terrible way. They're like, well, anyway, we'll Frankenstein him. But yeah, I think Batgirl could be a great movie, and she could span a lot of time on screen. Her story grows and develops in a way that could be very fascinating. Look, DC, I would argue, and I'm going to say point blank, they have way more interesting characters than Marvel. For me, and I know a lot, like, and Josh on the Dead of Nerds is saying, yeah, they're a lot very godlike, and they're not, and I think some people are saying they're not relatable. Okay, I kind of disagree with that, but to a point. But I think they're way more intriguing. They have way better villains, which I just talked about with the Marvel villains a little while ago. Because Marvel villains are all the exact same thing. Spider-Man has really awesome villains. But for the most part, their villains are forgettable, and then you squandered the Mandarin already over there, and so. But they've been making it work with, like, mediocre villains. They're like, hey, this villain that you probably have never heard of, You don't even care because you're here for other reasons. Whereas DC could be like, look, we've got Batman and these amazing gallery of awesome villains over here to play with. Same like Batgirl has awesome villains. Wonder Woman's gonna have some more villains, and they haven't even tapped into Green Lantern yet. But anyway, let's move on to Avengers. And one of your least favorite things on the planet is the Marvel humor.
Yep, that's right. Because Marvel owns the monopoly on jokes.
I will say, I guess I'm not a huge Joss Whedon fan because that first Avengers movie, some of those jokes just make me want to vomit. Also, the cinematography is like the worst cinematography of any movie. It looks like a Hallmark Christmas movie. Watch a Hallmark Christmas movie, then watch Avengers 1, and they look the same. And I'm not even joking. It's like there's no depth at all. There's like no contrast. It's like colors, 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 and you have heart. But I remember the guy beside me. Sorry, I gotta go side act by here. But the guy sitting beside me on at Avengers, because there was like 10 of us went, but the guy beside me, I had no idea who he was, and he was just there. And the movie starts. He's like, "I'm gonna see this 10 times," and I was like, "The trailer's just ended." So I can't wait for Infinity War. I want to sit next to that guy in Infinity War because he's going to see it 20 times. This movie's going to make more than Titanic in the first 3 weeks. It has to because then Deadpool comes out. It can't. But anyway, apparently Mark Ruffalo was talking to, I believe it was Total Film, and he said that Banner has changed quite a lot in this. He is not funny like he is in Thor Ragnarok, and a lot of the jokes aren't there like in that movie because they're obviously up against Thanos, who is the big bad and is going to destroy half of the universe. So are you okay with hearing that it's not going to be all fun and games? Although we have seen some humor in the trailer.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Thor Ragnarok is a very specific kind of movie. And I liked it a lot, but I would not expect that same tone in Avengers Infinity War. Like, this is the season finale. This is a big deal. We're not here for sunshine and rainbows. People are going to die in this movie. And I've been sort of expecting that. I think we all have. We've been expecting some stakes to come into the picture. I mean, poor Black Panther gets thrown off a waterfall and ends up okay. So we want to start seeing some heroes, pay for the consequences of getting beat the hell up. I'm down for however much darkness this movie's ready to throw at us. What I love so much about Marvel movies, just in terms of aesthetics, is regardless of the tone, whether it's a serious movie like Winter Soldier or whether it's a movie like Thor Ragnarok, is that visually it's just candy. Every color just pops. It is just the most bright, colorful eye candy possible. And Infinity War looks like it's going to be no different, regardless of how many people bite the dust.
Yeah, speaking of biting the dust, from the new trailer that we just spoke about very early on, it looks like Thanos has the Soul Stone before hitting Wakanda, before he gets to Wakanda. I'm not going to say this is a spoiler because we're talking about a trailer or a TV spot that's a minute long that aired. Like Marvel, Disney, they have no problem showing us this. So either they put it in there just to like play with us and they're going to digitally move it later, or Thanos somehow gets the Soul Stone before making his way to Wakanda, where he needs to get the Mind Stone from Vision, which lines up with all the rumors and speculation we're hearing that Vision is on Wakanda because they're going to try to remove it from him so that Thanos cannot give him the beat down and rip his head off and just use his head for it. So what are you making of all that? Have you seen that trailer, first of all?
I haven't watched the TV spot yet, but I saw a still with the Soul Stone on his gauntlet. By the way, sidebar, I saw that EB Games is selling the Infinity Gauntlet for like $98 or something. It looks really cool, and I want it. Well,
Odin has a replica of it.
Oh, that's true. I can just get one off of him. Yeah. When we saw the gauntlet at the end of Age of Ultron, when Thanos picks it up out of that vault, were there any gems on it? I can't remember. Or was it just totally blank?
When he says, "I'll do it myself"?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I feel like I can't remember. let us know in the comments below, because I honestly can't remember that movie. I actually only seen it. I've only seen that movie twice, to be honest with you.
Same, yeah. And as far as I can remember, I think it was blank. I kind of hope it was, because I liked the idea of Infinity War sort of being about his quest for that stone, like finding it.
Well, the writers of Infinity War actually said, because somebody said, he says, I'll do it myself, but now he has his team with him. And they were like, some things you just ignore. And they actually said that. They're like, some things you just don't worry about. So I'm pretty sure it was blank. But if there was, he won't have any going into this. It'll be a clean slate, and this is him getting them all. It's going to start off with Loki. He's going to get the one from Loki, and he's going to work his way down. So that's where I think they are. The Soul Stone, look, I think it's going to be something to do with that image in the trailer of Tony like this. I'm a Stark. By the way, side Akbar, my favorite part of Thor Ragnarok is when Banner comes back to being Banner, and he's wearing Tony Stark's clothes, and he goes, I'll be Tony Stark, and puts on those stupid sunglasses. I died. Dead. Just thought it was hilarious. Absolutely love that part. But I think, look, I talked with Josh about this last week, the idea that Thanos has to kill Gamora to get the Soul Stone, because he has to kill someone that he loves to obtain it, and Gamora is his favorite daughter, obviously. So that's a way. I don't know if Gamora is with Tony or not. I can't remember if she is, but look, Tony's definitely with Drax and Star-Lord. So we'll see how it is. But do you have a theory on how he will get possession of the Soul Stone?
Nothing concrete. I always imagined that finding out where it is would be kind of like the climax of this movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
And then that the Avengers 4 would be, the race to get it. Because I always assumed this one would be him, like you said, collecting all the other ones. And obviously he's got to go through Benicio del Toro to get the two that he's holding, or one that he's holding. So I thought that this would be sort of, an Earth invasion and all that stuff. He's getting what he can, but there's still one out there, and he's got to find out where that is. And that's kind of like the villains are on a quest too, sort of parallel with what the heroes are doing. And I always thought that would be really interesting. If I had to guess where it is, I would say, it's probably somewhere like in another dimension, or like inside somebody that, somebody has to die in order for him to get it. I like that idea of him having to kill Gamora. That's really neat. I think that's as far as I've ever gotten with where the Soul Stone might be.
Yeah, for me, everyone likes to theorize and speculate. I like the idea though that the movie comes down to Vision, and the heroes all have to team up to save one of them, is what I like. I also like that this, taking place right after Civil War, Tony and Cap, they're not going to be seeing eye to eye, obviously. So I like that, because my other thing that I've always found with the Avengers movies is they've really wanted to have them butt heads quite a bit, but I've always kind of felt like it's been forced. It's like they kind of forced the butting heads. But now we've had a movie, and even though the end of that movie I felt was a little bit forced with the fight between Bucky, Cap, and Iron Man. And Iron Man, I always thought that was a little bit forced the way that started. Whatever, don't comment on that. To each their own. But now you have an entire movie that's set up that, hey, they are at odds with each other for real this time. It's not going to be forced. It's going to be like, we're not friends right now. It's good, like that awkwardness when you see someone you don't like it. You're like, oh, but I got to be next to them. But I don't like it. It's like that awkwardness can really be played off, and I think they can have a lot of fun with that. Not funny fun, but fun, and it could be entertaining. And then, if something happens to Tony because he's going to die, something happens to Tony, maybe that sparks Cap, and Cap's like, what? Tony's dead. And then, because Cap's that kind of guy who still has respect for him, and then get that letter at the end. But that respect for him, and so he hears about that, because I think that Tony Stark has to die in this movie, if nothing else, for Spider-Man Homecoming 2 to be a better movie. What about you?
Yeah. He and Cap are not long for this world. By the end of Avengers 4, I think Tony and Cap are both going to be dead. I also think, though, that in this movie, I'm saying it's a sure bet we're losing Vision, because that dude is just way too powerful. Thanos needs that stone anyway. So Vision's going. I'm locking it in. Vision is done. He's not long for this world.
All right, we will continue that one afterwards. Let me know what you guys. Well, after we see the movie, we'll come back to what you just said. I'll play that clip. And if he's still alive, you owe me $355.37.
Deal.
All right, guys. Let us know in the comments below. Does Thanos have the Soul Stone heading into Wakanda, or is it misleading and we're actually not seeing the flow of it properly? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you guys think is going to pass on and die in this movie at the hands of Thanos or someone else? The first 30 minutes were screened at a London event. People were going crazy for it. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to stay spoiler free as possible here. So everything we say is going to be speculation on the channel. The day it comes out, we're going to do videos on it that day, seeing it that night probably, do a review as soon as we see it, and we'll do like just whatever you guys want to talk about. We're going to talk about Infinity War going forward. So once again, guys, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not, because we love talking superheroes every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Super Tuesday. And when news drops, we talk about that as well in Superhero World. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube on my channel, Andrew Fantasia, where I talk about lots of stuff similar to this, and on Rebel Scum Podcast with Mr. James Rosita, where we talk about rebels and scum, not necessarily in that order.
Not always in that order. Thanks so much for being here. And he actually wears clothes on his channel, so do not get afraid. Thanks for watching, guys. Really means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that we spend some time together and talk superheroes. Comment below. Love talking with you. And until next time, ciao for now.